Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I was supposed to film a chit chat, get ready with me Q&A style, answering all your questions about me getting married. And well, you know, I kind of forgot to do that while I was doing this makeup look. So instead, we're just gonna sit back, I'm gonna answer all your questions and yeah, let's get into it. Okay guys, so if you guys like what I'm wearing on my face, I just got done reviewing the new Game Beauty Adventure palette right here. Absolutely beautiful, great new indie brand, and yeah, I'll leave the review down below, but I really do love how this looks out. And I really do hope you guys like my new backdrop. It's just so me. But that is not why we're here today. We are here to talk all about my secret marriage that I have not disclosed to you guys until the other day. So if you guys have been around here on my channel for some time, you guys have always known that I've always called Corey my fiance. Like I think even when I first started YouTube, he was my fiance. I don't think I've ever said boyfriend. I think he was always my fiance. But Corey and I had been together since 2008. So we're going on 13 years of being together. Now, not to dive into our past too much, but we did break up twice. Once in 2012 and like once in 2017. Both times we broke up for like 6 months, dated other people, but we always ended up getting back together. So this time around, we finally decided to get hitched. Now, I got a lot of questions in regards to why I kept it a secret and my dress and was it planned, this and that, and I'm gonna go ahead and just dive all into that. Okay, so question number one is, did you guys plan to get eloped or was it spur of the moment? Kind of both. I wouldn't say it's spur of the moment, but I wouldn't say it was elopement either. So we had originally planned to get married last year on October 18th of 2020. That was going to be our date. We were starting to look at venues. I was looking at dresses back in January of last year. And I slowly started talking about it on my channel, but I always had to be really wary because of my job, which I'll get to in a minute. But we decided to start looking at venues, and then COVID became a huge thing and everything shut down. So we decided to just nix that idea and we would just postpone our wedding until next year. But I saw Chrissy doing like this cross stitching and oh my God. So if you guys don't know, Chrissy Harless is a wonderful YouTuber here. I saw her doing this cross stitching and it was back in August and I was like, oh my God, like I would love for her to make me that. So I asked her to make me one and she's like, is there anything in particular you want? I said, can you put 10/28/2020? Because that's when me and Corey were gonna get married. And as time started to progress, I was like, I still really want to get married. Because I had some friends have like an elopement during the summer when they knew that they couldn't actually have a wedding. They still went and got an elopement and still had like a COVID wedding, I guess now that you want to call it. And I knew I still wanted that, so we started to plan it. So in September, I had asked my sister to go get ordained because I really wanted my sister to officiate my wedding. And that's why it was so hard on me for her to leave, because she married us, because I knew there was a chance that she was going to be moving to England. And I really wanted my sister to come see me get married, because when we get married next year, I wasn't sure she'd be able to come. So this way she still got to see it. So on the physical day that we got married, I was just my sister, my mom and my dad, my nephew, and then my best friend Alyssa and Stuart were our witnesses. And then we went over to St. Augustine. Our wonderful friend John took our wedding photos. And it was just the smallest thing. Like we celebrated it like very, very tiny. Like me and Corey came home. We didn't have a reception. We came home and just spent our honeymoon night together. But at that same time, I began to tell people. So I did tell Paige and Jarvis and my friend Mikey and Chrissy Harless. And at the same time, she happened to mail me this. Like, look how freaking cool this is. Now she does cross stitch, and Corey had no idea I had Chrissy make this back in August. So Chrissy knew that we were married, and like people kept asking her like what project she was working on, and she kept it a secret from me. So did Paige and Jarvis, and it was so hard for Paige whenever she'd be like you know, she was like struggling, and it was a struggle for me. So thank you so much, Chrissy. I can finally show the world. I'm so freaking excited. But it was kind of like spur of the moment, but kind of like planned as well. It's just kind of one of those things where at the end of the day, I didn't care if I had this big wedding or not. I just wanted to be married to Corey. I was so tired of being his fiance. I was his fiance for a couple years and I was just so tired of it. I just wanted to finally be together, and we wanted to lock in our date that we had originally planned. Like COVID took away so much from so many people, and I wasn't gonna let it take away the one joy that I had, which was Corey. So we decided to still get married. How many dresses did you try on till you found the one? So I still haven't found my like wedding dress. I did pick out 3 dresses. I got them from Shein and Agassi. I don't know if I'm saying that right, Agassi. But I got it from Shein and Agassi, and they were stupid cheap, between $13 to $20. I knew I did not want to have anything expensive because it's not like it's my like real wedding dress. I didn't want to go all out and spend all this money on a dress I'm only gonna really wear like one time, you know? Just because for me, I'm not really into that big ceremony. I really want a small, very intimate wedding, and I want something just to be surrounded by just people that I love. I am definitely like more of the small, intimate ceremony person, so looking for like a dress was super easy for me. I found it on Shein. The one that I picked out was absolutely beautiful. I think that one was like $15. So easy, and you could wear it anytime. But I thought it was like a beautiful like looking like wedding dress. But I'm still gonna definitely go find a dress when the time comes. But yeah, it was just really, really easy. How did Corey propose? So Corey proposed on April 17th of 2017 on top of the lighthouse in St. Augustine. So St. Augustine is a very special place to us. We have gone to St. Augustine ever since we've been together. It's like seriously a place that I adore with all my heart, and it's a place that I have considered moving to time and time again. And then people who actually live there tell me not to because you make more money in Orlando. But seeing as how my life is different now, I definitely feel like that's something that we are still considering doing, because I really do love St. Augustine, and he knows that. And someone that I talk about often who's no longer with us, her name is Jenna, and she is my best friend still, and she actually got engaged in St. Augustine, and we've always like shared a love of St. Augustine together. And she told us her story about how her husband had proposed to her in St. Augustine, and I was always like, oh my god, I love St. Augustine so much, like must be so nice, you know. And I think Corey knew, and I felt like on that day he proposed to me a month after she had passed, and I think he knew that how special that was for me to have that moment. But when he did propose to me, he was on top of the lighthouse, and he opened the ring, and I said yes. And the first thing he said is, I'm not going to give you the ring because you're going to drop it. Smart man. But yeah, it was in St. Augustine. So it was such a great day. I almost didn't go too if it wasn't for Juan and Alyssa forcing me to go. Didn't you want a big wedding? I have never, ever wanted a big wedding. I want the smallest of weddings possible, because everybody spends so much time focusing on throwing this big, epic wedding, trying to appease the guest and make their wedding like, look how extravagant it is. And that's just not for me. I've always wanted a really small, intimate ceremony, because at the end of the day, it's not about anybody else. It's about you and the groom, or you and the bride, whoever you're marrying. It's just about you two. It's about nobody else. So I told Corey, I've never wanted a big wedding. I've always wanted the smallest intimate wedding, because the bigger the wedding you have, the more expensive it is. And me and Corey are going to be paying for everything out of pocket, that I just know, like, I'd rather spend that money on a big wedding and take that to go on my honeymoon. Like, that's what I want to do, because we want a honeymoon in Scotland. So I want to take all that money, well, now to go to England. We want to take all that money and we want to take it to go to England and Scotland. That's what we're focused on. We're not focusing on having a big wedding, because at the end of the day, so many times I have been to so many weddings where people legit don't pay for the seat. Like me and Corey, I always have been the person that whenever I go to someone's wedding, I'm not afraid to be like to the bride and groom, hey, like, you know, how much did your food cost? If they're like, oh, you know, it's $110 a guest. I'm like, perfect. I'm gonna throw in like $120, $130 from me, and do the same thing for Corey. Like, I always pay for my seat, because I know how much it costs to have a wedding, and I know so many people who just don't do that. They literally just go and that's it. Or half the time they don't ever even show up. So the bride and groom spend all this money on food, drinks, everything, and then the guests don't show up. And I'm like, oh my God, they could have saved like so much money. So that's why I'm just like, no. The smaller the better. And I don't know, I guess like after COVID, you just really realize like what's important in life. And I just want people who really matter. People who are important to me to be there. I could care less about everything else. I could care less about having this big fancy wedding. Like, I just want the smaller the better for me personally. What was your favorite part of your wedding day? I think the favorite part of my wedding day was being in St. Augustine and just taking our photos and really looking at Corey and going, oh my God, like, you're my husband. Like, you're legit my husband. And the other moment, oh my God, it makes me want to like tear up just talking about it. The other moment would be the moment that my sister married us. You know, she looked at Corey and she had to say like her official stuff that she had to say, but she looked at Corey, and the first words out of her mouth was, "Do you take my baby sister?" And she started to tear up and get emotional, and so I started to tear up and get emotional, and I'm trying not to get emotional right now because like it's my sister and I love her to death. But yeah, oh my god, this is so stupid. Don't cry like a little bitch. But like that moment was everything for me when my sister, like someone I've looked up to my whole life, literally looked at Corey and said, "Do you take my little sister?" And like it was emotional for her, it's emotional for me, and it made me emotional right now. But I hate crying. But that was really special for me, my sister. My sister talked about that to this day, like how special that moment was just for me and her, for her to do that, because growing up we weren't that close, but as we gotten older, we definitely got a lot closer. So it was just I spent all the time in this makeup. Okay, it was just like a really like special moment for me and her. So that's something I'll never, ever, ever forget, was her marrying us. That was really nice. Were you nervous the morning of, or cool as a cucumber? I think I was definitely really nervous. Like even though I've been with Corey for almost 13 years, it's still like a really nervous moment, because what if that moment when it comes to saying I do, he's like, ooh, yeah, no, ooh, you know, like it was definitely a really nerve-wracking moment. And I know the day that like I actually had my ceremony, I'm still probably gonna be really nervous, even though at that point we're actually be married still. But I don't know, you always face like the fear of rejection, so you just never know, because I think at that moment when you really are realizing like, holy crap, like this is really happening, I'm really saying my ideas and really signing my marriage license. This is it, like we're legally binding. And I've always had a huge problem with commitment my whole life. I think the reason why I held off getting married for so long was because I was terrified to make that commitment. Because like for me, I take marriage very seriously. For me, once you're married, and I'll do whatever it takes to make sure my marriage works. I really take my vows and my relationship with God very seriously. And I never talk about religion here, but I take the whole sacrament very, very very, very seriously. So to make that commitment was very scary, but it also felt right at the same time. And nothing's changed. Like now we're just legally married, but I'm now starting to call him my husband. Like even when it's just been private, just with me and Corey, I think the only person I've said my husband to, like a stranger wise, is when I had to call my cable company because my internet wasn't working, and I was like, my husband, and I was like, oh my god, I'm saying my husband, how weird is this? Like I still feel like people look at me like I'm a 13-year-old girl going, is that really your husband? Like I feel like I have to walk around with my marriage certificate going, no, we're legit, we're married. Like I still keep forgetting that I can say this. Did you know on the day that you got married at a course project, were the dogs there? No, the dogs were not there at all. I wish they were, but unfortunately, Koa doesn't do well in the car ride. If anyone's seen my vlogmas, y'all will have known Pukey Pants can't handle the car ride very well. What's the story the first time you two met? Me and Corey actually met when we were in high school. I was in 11th grade, he was in 10th grade, and we happened to be standing outside this classroom area. I don't know how to describe it other than like this portable classroom area, and I happened to walk up to meet my best friend at the time, and with a group of guys we always hung out with, and Corey had showed up because I guess he was in like someone's neighbor, and we locked eyes, and I remember him being an ROTC, so he was wearing like his ROTC uniform, and he kind of like flirted with me, and I kind of like brushed him off. I was like, oh, you know, we kind of like bantered back and forth, because I have no problem saying Corey's an asshole, but like in a good way. Like Corey's the type of person where he can literally tell you something, like say something bad about you, like but in a sarcastic way. You know, like he has a way of like saying it where it's not like mean, but he has a way of calling you out, but not being mean about it. He's a very sarcastic asshole, and he's been like that ever since I met him. And I don't know if that's what drew me to him, I don't know. But that day that we met, we started talking, and I remember I found out he had a girlfriend, but he still asked my number, and I was like, ew, I am not giving my number. And he's like, just do it, I'll call you. I was like, please. He bought me a bag of Skittles because he knew I really like Skittles, because I guess he asked somebody if they told me I like Skittles, and he wrote me a little note, said, can I please have her number? So I wrote it. Legit, at 3 o'clock, he called me. And he's like, told you I was going to call you. And I was like, you have a girlfriend? He goes, so what? We could just be friends. And I don't remember Heather was his first girlfriend's name. Oh, I remember. And oh my God, he'll kill me for remembering that. He was with a girl for like 2 weeks, and we started talking, like writing notes back and forth. He just asked me questions about myself, what my favorite drinks are, what my favorite foods are. Do you like Coke or Pepsi? Yes or no? Like, do you like me? Yes or no? I'm like, you have a girlfriend, we're not talking about this. And when I tried calling him out on having a girlfriend, I was like, I think you like me, but you have a girlfriend. He goes, I love my girlfriend. I do not like you. I'm like, okay. Breaks up with this girl and starts dating this other girl later on. And like, Corey was a kissing whore. I have no problem saying Corey was a little whore man and always had a girlfriend, never not had a girlfriend. Whereas me, I was a little nerd who stuffed my bra half the time trying to get guys to look at me. And no wonder he didn't really pay attention. But we kind of just like fizzled out and just became friends, and generally just became friends. I've talked for 2 years. I always thought that he was just always flirting with me. People always said we were gonna get together because the way that we always interacted together, and it's always like this back and forth game we played throughout high school. And then it wasn't until I was in college that and he was finishing out his last year of high school that we started to like reconnect, because his dog had passed away and he had reached out to me to, I guess, talk to me about it. And yeah, from that point on we were just like hooked at the hips, man. I must have just saw something in the way he used to take my hair and just go, I'd have my hair up in a high pony and be like, and mess with my hair. I'm like, stop it. And he goes, oh my God, such an ass. Someone goes, was it everything you wanted? No, because what I wanted would actually hopefully happen next year, but it was everything that I didn't expect it to be. Like, it may not be what I wanted, but it became so much more and became so much more intimate, and I have no regrets. I love it. How did you feel the day of? I felt really excited. Someone goes, did I get married in July? Because I asked back then and it seemed like you were extra happy back then. No, it's just in July is our anniversary. How was the process of it being COVID? Were there any barriers? No, because it's just me and my family, and then just going to St. Augustine, very limited social interaction, wore masks, very, very private. Was it Disney themed? I wish. Disney's way too expensive. I think the cheapest wedding at Disney is like $40,000. Please, no way. Are you still thinking of coming to Scotland for your honeymoon? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And did you two meet at Disney? Was it love at first sight? We did not meet at Disney. It was not love at first sight. So yeah. Are you planning on having kids in the future? So I've never really been one to be like, I want kids. But as I've gotten older and as I've been around my best friend who does have 2 babies, definitely I'm very open to the idea now. And now me and Corey are kind of at the point, if it happens, it happens. Like, we're not doing anything to stop it from happening anymore. So we're just kind of letting it be up in the air. If the universe decides that it's time for me, if the universe decides that it's time for me to be a mom, then I'm gonna be a mom. And if it doesn't, then it doesn't. But like, we're not trying. Like, I'm not stopping it anymore. So I'm letting nature happen the way it's supposed to happen. Did you get married because your sister was leaving? No, but I did get her to officiate it just because I was scared there's a chance she was leaving. Gold or silver jewelry? Silver. Goth or pastel? Pastel. Did I do my own makeup? Yeah, I did the very, very bare minimum. Like, whenever you guys see me in videos where I'm just wearing like mascara, my foundation, like lips, that's exactly what I wore my wedding, because I wanted to be very, very simple and basic, because I don't know, I just like simplicity. Very easy, very elegant. That's what I like. I almost wore red, like a red lip, but I was like, ooh, knowing my luck, I'll get on this dress. So I didn't. When was the moment that you knew he was your lobster? Oh, you know, I couldn't tell you the exact moment I knew that he was my lobster, but definitely I think when I realized that the love I had for him when I was like 20 compared to now is just so much different. When I realized that not only is he like my soulmate, but he's also my best friend too. There are days where we could literally just pause like the lover side and just be best friends. When I realized that I can literally spend every single day with him, work with him, like literally at our job, and live with him and never get tired of him, like I knew then like he's the one that's for me. And I've gone and saw psychic mediums, and they not even like asking who he was or if I was with somebody, said I was with my twin flame and my soulmate. And I don't know, I just knew for so long this is the person I'm meant to be with. If you can go every single day and never get tired of them, and you still laugh and they just understand you in a way that nobody else does, and you can just be your 100% true authentic self with that person, they still love you, I definitely knew like they're the one, you know? Like, I don't know, I just knew. I think for a long time I knew. So I'm getting a lot of the same questions asking me why we kept it quiet. The one I did get was, who's your maid of honor? Obviously it's Alyssa, my matron of honor being my sister. And then, am I going to change my last name? Yes, I'm going to change my last name, but you guys will always know me as Allie Dawson. That's never going to change. Okay, so the biggest question that I have been getting on here is legit, why did I keep it a secret? Why have I not told you guys when I tell you guys everything? So, I had talked about this previously, a long time ago, but I work for a third party inside Walt Disney World. So I am a Walt Disney World employee, but I'm considered a third party. So there isn't another employee who employs me in the Walt Disney World company. I work at one of the 4 theme parks. If anyone's ever watched Teresa's Dead channel, she's actually said what theme park. I guess I really want her to say it, but I'm still so scared for repercussions, honestly. But Corey and I have worked there for 10 years, and at my location, they really don't allow family members to work together. So like if you're a family, you can't work together. If you're married, you cannot work together. So I always knew that there was a chance that whenever me and Corey got married, I'd have to transfer, I'd have to leave my job. So last year, back in January when we were starting to plan our wedding, I went to my GM and I told him that me and Corey were planning on getting married on October 18th of 2020. And he was like, okay, so what do we do from here? Because I've been there for 10 years. And I had said, listen, I know that it's the manager's discretion, like it's my GM's discretion whether or not we can work together. And I was letting him know that like I would be willing to switch my days. Corey's a bartender, I'm a server, so we work in 2 different departments. And I would switch my days, so we'd never see each other, and we'd be on completely different, completely different schedules. And that we don't have any kids, so it doesn't hinder us. Like, we've been together going on 12 years at that time, and we've been at this company together for 10 years. There's never really been an issue. Yes, we broke up twice and there's a little bit of drama, but overall we've pretty much been really good. And so we were really talking about the possibility of us just legit being able to work together. So then everything happened with COVID, and my job did open back up in July 7th to be precise. My location opened back up, but they only brought back a very small handful of servers. So I'm still placed on furlough, and I was very scared to say that I got married because we're in a different time. And I was afraid that if I came forward and say that me and Corey were married, that my job would find an excuse not to bring me back anymore. That they'd be like, oh, she's married, so we're gonna go ahead and just term her officially or never bring her back. And that was a very, very, really, really scary situation for me, because at the end of the day, yes, I have YouTube, but YouTube isn't reliable enough. I don't make a substantial income from YouTube. I make enough to survive on, barely. I make enough to pay my bills, but I don't make enough to survive fully. Like when I was a server at Disney, I made more than enough, and I was living okay. Like everything was being okay. I had extra money to go do whatever I wanted to do, and I don't have that luxury anymore. And YouTube is a very, very scary ball game, because one minute you can make so much money, the next minute you can make barely anything. It's always up in the air. You never know what you're gonna get. So I was absolutely terrified by coming forward and saying that I'm married publicly, that my job would find out and they would end up letting me go. And not only would they let me go, I was scared that from all my Disney benefits, I wouldn't be brought back, and I'd have to start back all over if I ever wanted to reapply when they do start hiring again. Like, I had a lot of fear. I'm not gonna lie, I was absolutely terrified. So we told nobody for a while, and we were gonna stay that way. But at the last minute on December 31st, I looked at Corey and I said, I'm really tired of having to hide my life. I'm really tired of having to hide that we're married. Like, if anything COVID's taught us, it's taught us that tomorrow isn't promised and tomorrow's not a guarantee, and to really cherish what you have in the moment and be present with one another. And if the world were to end tomorrow, I would be devastated to know that I kept one of the biggest things that meant the most to me a secret, just because I was scared of a job. So I decided to just screw it. And I talked to my AGM, and my AGM did reassure me, saying that, you're going to be fine. We're not going to term you. You're not going to lose your Disney benefits. We'll definitely talk about bringing you back when the time comes. Like, don't be afraid. Don't put your life on hold just for a job. So we announced it, and I was terrified, and I legit cried, because I was really scared. What's going to be the repercussions? Is there going to be a moment where I don't get brought back? Because unfortunately, in the server world, I'm sure any servers out there who are watching this can tell you, it's very drama filled, and people like to cause a lot of drama. And there's been a lot of couples at that job who's really ruined it for a lot of people. Legit, they've ruined it for a lot of people. So they kind of make it not easy to come back, because my GM, they don't want drama. It's about business, it's not about drama. And I completely understand that. So I'm hoping that maybe, because I know that they said they might not bring anybody back come spring, maybe the summer season, just because Disney hasn't opened up their capacity. They're still at 35%, so my restaurant can only open up so much, because they still have to follow the COVID rules, where they have to be 6 feet apart, wear a mask and shield at all time. it's just not feasible with how tiny my restaurant is to bring back so many servers. So who knows what's gonna happen. I'm really hoping that I do get a call back, but you know, Corey really wants me to do this full time, and he's trying to push me to be a full-time YouTuber. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm very, very scared to take that step. I am terrified. So yeah, I'm being very vulnerable and opening up to you guys, but I'm terrified because it's just, this is an unknown. This is something that's really scary, and I was really scared to make this jump and make this leap to try to be a YouTuber, legit try to be a YouTuber, because it's very scary. Like, Corey's willing to take a second and third job to make it possible, and I think that's so sweet of him. But I'm more than happy to get a second job, a third job. Like, I don't care. I'll do whatever it takes to help us survive. But he really wants me to do this full time. So because I decided to come forward with this, I decided to create a Patreon. And if you guys don't know what Patreon is, it's like a membership service where you get exclusive content for being a Patreon member. So I did create one, and I posted it last night on my YouTube channel. And on that Patreon, I have 3 different tiers. The first tier is $3, where literally your $3 helps to support me and my content, making it very easy for me to try to do this full time. Tier 2 is $5 a month, where it's the same exact concept, but you also get a live stream and exclusive makeup videos or makeup content, depending on what you guys want to see, twice or 3 times a month. And then the third tier is $10 a month, where you're gonna get all of that, as well as extra entries into my No Waste Wednesdays. You guys are gonna get your own No Waste Wednesdays, and you guys are also gonna get shout outs at the end of each video. So this is a way for me to try to sustain this, try to do this full time. I'm taking a big leap. I'm taking a big jump. I'm still very scared of what's gonna happen, because I said that we're married, and who knows? I mean, who knows when they're going to have room to open up, bring people back. And I'm just scared that by me saying that I'm married to Corey, there's a very good chance I might not be. Or if I do, there's a very good chance they might want to transfer me to a different location. And that's also really scary in itself, because that different location, I don't care for those places, and I'd have to start over. Instead of being a 10-year place, instead of being 10 years in seniority at one place, I'd have to start back over the bottom. So it's really, really terrifying. I'm really scared, but I don't want to live in fear anymore. I don't want to lie to you guys, and I want to shout to the world that I'm married, because I'm really happy. And this is really scary, but I think they said that some of the scariest things in life are worth fighting for and are worth it. So here I am. I'm taking a leap forward. I'm taking a risk, and we'll see what happens. But by me keeping a secret, I was protecting my job ultimately. And by me coming forward with it, who knows what my future at my job will be. But I guess that's a bridge that we'll cross when that time comes. But that's why I kept it a secret for so long, because I was really scared they were just going to go ahead and terminate me and I lose all my Disney benefits, lose everything that I've built up with that company for 10 years. And I was really scared about that. Thank God the AGM reassured me. But again, you just don't know what's going to happen in COVID time. Things are always ever changing. And yeah, it was really, really scary for me. And I'm still really nervous about it, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, that's why I kept it a secret for so long. So I do apologize for not telling you guys the truth, but I had to, because I was scared of what was gonna happen. And I still am, but I'm tired of living in fear. And I wanna follow my dream. Like, this is what I wanna do full time. Like, I legit wanna be a full-time YouTuber and do this for you guys and interact with you guys and talk to you guys and go on lives more often. And that's why I created the Patreon. It's a way to help me in my content and a way for me to give back to you guys even more so here's hoping 2021 is absolutely amazing for everybody. So let's hope for it. But yeah, majority of my questions were asking why I kept it a secret, but that is why I kept it a secret, just because you don't know what's going to happen by coming forward with it, because we do work together, and that's a no-no in my company's eyes. So yeah, scary. I'm scared, but let's hope this all works out. So I hope I answered all your questions. If I didn't, I do apologize. It's already like a really long video as well. A lot of you guys asked the same exact questions, so I couldn't answer too much, but just know that Corey and I still really want to have a wedding next October of 2021. But at the end of the day, I was just tired of being a fiance. I just wanted to be his wife, especially since Like I said, COVID has taught us so much that life is really precious. Life is not guaranteed. You're not promised it tomorrow. And I was so tired of just being his fiance. I wanted to be his wife. I want to be his wife. That's all I cared about. I didn't care about anything else. I just wanted to be legally married to him and have him finally call me his wife. And I can call him my husband because I waited so long for it. And yeah, I was very happy with how it turned out. And I'm sure the next year will be really beautiful with our small little wedding. And like I said, we're gonna have the smallest little wedding, and we are gonna film it for you guys. I know Corey got a lot of crap for not having our wedding stuff in his video, but the reason why he didn't have it in there is because I decided last minute to come forward with it. And he had already got done with the video. So we didn't document that day. We just took a few photos, but we didn't document it because we just wanted to be a day about me and him and nothing else, and just wanted to have a private moment. But we will actually document our wedding. Like, we will film it for you guys. So don't worry, you guys will not miss out on it. But I hope you guys can understand the secrecy, and I hope you guys are okay with it. Like, you can tell that I'm getting like really nervous and anxious because I keep messing with this, my nails, my hair. Like, when I get really, really anxious, like, speaking of anxiety, I had talked about this, but to a few of my Patreon members, I almost didn't come back to YouTube because of how bad my anxiety got. Legit, almost didn't come back. So if it wasn't for you guys, your amazing Christmas cards, your Christmas gifts that I got, your sweet, warm-hearted DMs, I don't know if I'd be here right now, because anxiety really got the best of me. And I want to give a huge shout out to Teresa's dad, because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have started a Patreon to begin with. She's really helped me out to start it and push me forward to, because she wants me to do this full time. So yeah, that's my Q&A on my wedding. I hope I answered your guys' questions. I'm sorry if I missed any. A lot of them were the same, so I only captured as much as I could. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them down below. But I will link my Patreon down below. Please do not feel obligated to join it whatsoever. This is just a way for me to try to do this full time. You being here and watching my content is more than enough, trust me, so please do not feel obligated. But I will leave it down below just in case anybody's interested in just checking it out. So with that said, guys, that is it for today's video, guys. If you guys like this video, please make sure you guys give this video a cheeky thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you guys Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you guys have not already, because I do post 3 to 4 times a week. Make sure you guys check out my other channels, R for Life. You guys get to see my cool, amazing adventures here in Florida with my wonderful husband, Corey. And as always, guys, I just want to thank you guys for all your love and support. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.